I have the honor of introducing Brittney Ketring.
I'd like to call out Brown County Middle School for not booing as I asked when I walked up on stage. That really was not kind. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Brittney Ketring, and I am the art teacher at Brown County Middle School. When I was in middle school, I wanted to be a long-haul truck driver. I think it stemmed from a desire to travel and see things other than cornfields, but that was the dream. That was the story that I wanted to write. When I tell my students this, in the process of talking about their futures, they'll ask, well, how did you end up here? Then I tell them that as I got older, the thought of sitting alone in a truck cab for hours on end was not as intriguing at 19 as it was at 12. So I decided to go to college for film production, focusing on documentary work. I realized I liked being around people and getting to know their stories. Following graduation, I lived in Haiti for a summer, and I left Haiti thinking, this is where a new chapter of my story begins. I had big plans and big dreams to leave my hometown, move to Nashville, Tennessee, and begin a career in nonprofit documentary work. And if at this point, in talking to the students, some are still paying attention, they'll ask, okay, but you're a teacher. Why are you at Brown County? So I tell them the not so great part of my story. My mom got sick the fall after I graduated college, and to stay close to home, I took an opportunity offered to me by my former art teacher, a long-term substitute position in the art department of the high school I had graduated from. Unfortunately, my time in that classroom ended sooner than planned. My mom's sickness progressed quickly, and she passed away. A couple months following my mom's passing, the teacher who had given me the opportunity reached out to ask if I had ever considered teaching as a career. He knew my story from when I was 15 years old in his photography class to at that time 24 years old, trying to pick up the pieces of my life. He had encouraged me in the midst of it and saw something in me that I couldn't have seen in myself. At this point, I finished by telling my students that a year and a half later, I went to grad school, and now I teach middle school art. For many of the students who had been listening, that's good enough. But for some of them, in parts of my story, they can see parts of theirs. As individuals, our stories come with incredible power. They connect, they encourage, they show strength. As many have said today, the kids that walk into our rooms all come with a story. They have seen and walked through things that even now, at 30, I can't wrap my head around. For many of them, it's a story they haven't had a chance to write on their own. It's pages and chapters handed to them by circumstance and others' choices. But if we have the courage to show them glimpses of our story, they may be willing to let us walk alongside them in theirs. Our vulnerability shows them that there are so many parts of life, and it gives our students license to talk about the imperfect parts of theirs. We're able to help them to a greater capacity by knowing their stories. We learn the things they enjoy, the things that scare them, and the things that give them hope. We have a better idea of what they will succeed at and what they may need more help with. We as teachers can get a look into who they can be if they continue to have people stepping into their stories, willing to lend an ear and help in the areas that they can. This trust creates really amazing spaces, not only for the individual student, but the classroom as a whole. I've been surprised at the amount of times that sharing my story with my students has opened doors to conversations within the classroom. Students finding out that maybe they weren't so different from each other. They find commonalities that give them a connection to celebrate in the good and be there for each other in the bad. Sorry, it came off my construction paper. You think as an art teacher I'd know how to glue better. It gives us guidelines for how we respect and care for one another based on knowing where we've come from. Trust me, it can seem daunting sharing your story, opening up those parts that are hard, that are sad, that you're not quite sure you want anyone to see. But they connect us with our students, and I hope as we walk into this new school year, we all find the courage to share them. So many of our kids need it. Thank you. And last but